The purpose of this screencast is to learn how to add images and backgrounds to a flip chart within Active Inspire. When it comes to adding images, the best place to go is definitely Google. There's a wide variety and you can almost always find what you're looking for. So if I open Google and go to images and do a search for, say, a girl clip art, a lot of things come up. I do want to be mindful of fair usage rights, and I want to filter out any image that doesn't specifically give me permission to use it. So I would go to Settings, Advanced Search, and then scroll down to where it says Usage Rights. Right now it's not being filtered at all, just every possible result comes up. But I really only want to be using those images that are free for me to use, share, or modify. So once I apply that to my search, it'll filter out any images that are not under the fair usage rules or laws. And now I can pick the image that I want. So just choose one, right-click on it, copy it, right-click, and paste. And I can resize it and move it around to go wherever I want within my flip chart. So it's really just that simple. Do a Google search, filter out any images that do not fall under fair usage, copy and paste. With backgrounds, there are a couple of different options. The easiest way to change the background of a flip chart is to use the little paint bucket icon or the fill tool and select a color from the palette, and then you will just get a solid color to be your background. A second way to maybe play around with the backgrounds a little bit or add a little bit more interest is to go to Edit, Page Background, and under the Fill option, here you can select to do a two-tone gradient. So if I want one of my colors to be pink and my second color to be yellow, if I click on this box here, I can play around with the different ways that I want that to look. I can have a circle in the middle, I can have it diagonal, hit apply to see how it looks. Okay, so then I'll click OK because I decided that that's the way I'd like to keep it. So that's the second way to play around with the background, is to go to Edit, Page Background, and set a background based on two different colors. And then if you ever want to clear your background, or you decided that you changed your mind, if you come down to the little spray bottle icon and choose the clear background option, it'll just take away whatever backgrounds you've been playing around with if they're not the ones that you want. And then a third way is to use the backgrounds that are available directly within Active Inspire. So you can either hit Control B or go to View, Browsers, and then your page browser will pop up here. So if you go to your resource browser and go to backgrounds, you'll see there are a couple of different categories of options. So if you click on an option, you can scroll and see the different backgrounds that are available. So there are some illustrations, there are ones that look like paper, different patterns, photographs, and textures. Some backgrounds have a little bit, so for example in texture, some of them they have some texture to them. You can either click and drag or double click, either way. Some textures and backgrounds are still pretty solid, even though they have some texture to them, and you can read the text pretty easily when it's coming right on top of it. Sometimes the text is the background is a little more busy, like these dice, for example, and some of my words are fading in and blending in with it. And there are a couple of different ways around that. The first thing I can do is I can highlight my text and give it a white background so that it's easier to read. Or another way is to add a rectangle a white rectangle, for example, where the background becomes more of a border. And then I will send this image, reorder it, and send it to the bottom layer so the text is right on top and my image is right on top. And if I still want some of that background to maybe show through, I can highlight my image and go up here to the translucency slider. It's like a little sunshine icon, and just slide it down a little bit to make that white rectangle translucent, just enough where the background shows through, and I can still read my text and see my images. So these are the basics on how to add images and backgrounds to a flip chart.